Cancer, welcome to your 5-card movie star spread. As per usual, as per usual, you can click on that description box below and it'll talk about the significance of this particular spread and the placement of each card. Cancer, you have a long journey ahead of you, but you're pushing through it, okay? There was, how do I put this? So there's some conflict, and there's conflict that is going to come and go. It's not really going away, and it's not really going anywhere anytime soon. But your stake in the game, what you're trying to do is you're trying to get down to the truth of the matter. Okay? So as you're dealing with this, as you're bringing conflict forward to people, or maybe even not conflict, maybe constructive criticism, as you're bringing that forward to people, you're really just trying to get to the truth of the matter. And it has a lot to do with how you feel about all the different relationships in your life. Don't get hung up on the word relationship. It doesn't have to mean a romantic relationship. We have a relationship with our boss. We have a relationship with our favorite barista, whatever that is. But you're really working through the constructive parts of something. You're bringing up the things that might make you uncomfortable. You're maintaining boundaries. You're figuring out where you stand with somebody else. Okay? And that's the purpose of these little conflicts that are popping up here and there. And each time you work through it, you find a little something out about yourself. This process is exhausting, okay? Because you're the one bringing up the difficult things to talk about, you're also the one who has to work through and help the other person through the process. So it's very, very tiring. It's very, very draining. But ultimately, you're not being defensive about it. You're not looking to gain the upper hand. You're not looking to push back. You're literally just trying to get to the truth of the matter to see where you stand with not one, but several different people in your life. Because ultimately, see, this is the possible outcome card, and it talks about celebrating with friends. But this isn't a big, huge group. This is a small group. This is a small tribe. So basically, you're on a mission to see where you stand with certain people. Who's really going to be there for you, and who do you really want to invest time in? Because ultimately, you're trying to create a stable environment when it comes to friendships, because you've actually been in a whirlwind of just keeping up with the situation. Like here's what you're trying to do, okay? You're trying to see what kind of relationships are lasting, because that's what you want to hold on to. You want to invest your time and energy into the relationships that are long lasting. You recognize that some relationships are just circumstantial. Maybe like a friend at work who you get along with really well at work, but you recognize that if you guys didn't work together, you guys probably wouldn't put in that effort. Or you might have a friend that you put a lot of effort in, and you recognize that they very rarely put effort into you. So you might want to start holding back on that person. Because what you're trying to do, Cancer, is you're trying to hone in on your inner tribe, the people who will really be there for you. And ultimately, when you're done gathering all of this information, when you're done solving, when you resolve who is and who isn't worth your time and energy, you're actually going to have the strength to start distancing yourself from the people who didn't make it into that inner circle. You know what I mean? That you're not getting the reciprocity from, that you maybe don't trust, or that you're only friends with for a circumstantial reason. It seems to me, Cancer, like you're exhausted. It's a very, very difficult thing to do, but it seems to me that you're exhausted and drained in the process of weeding out who doesn't belong in that inner circle. But ultimately, you have a good reason for doing it. And the conflicts that you're dealing with, sometimes they're, conflicts with yourself, like really working these things out. It's a very difficult thing to do, to actually sit down and realize who's really in it for the long haul. So what I can say, Cancer, the little piece of advice, I'm going to put the cards aside and just go from personal advice. Although this is difficult, I know for a fact it's worth it. Because sometimes you just need to hone in to those few who are really there and let other people fall out to the wayside. Because what you need in your life coming forward, you're probably really going to have to lean on a few people. So it's best that you find out who they are now, despite how tiring the process is. Figuring out who's worth your time and energy does mean distancing yourself from those who are not. It doesn't mean cutting them out and saying goodbye forever. It just means adjusting the relationship that you have to put the most time and energy into the people that you value the most. I hope you found a message that serves your highest good, and I'll see you guys next week.